met in a pub in Harrogate in Yorkshire. And I got a chance to thank him, thanking him for his confidence in me, thanking him for allowing me to see that there was a place for me in theatre, that I could do that. And I got a chance to thank him for setting me on this course of acting, in which, as I said before, I've met some wonderful people, done some pretty good work here and there too, had a career. And it's to Bill Martin, that mentor, that I thank.
The Theatre Curation Project was born in the spirit of stewardship over the art, craft, and history of the theatre. Its purpose is to curate these stories of our mentors and what they passed on to us to be a resource for future generations. Its goal is to preserve these stories and the lessons within them from being lost forever.
Hello, my name is Brian Tree, and I'm an actor. I'm going to talk about my mentor, Bill Martin. I started out in England, as you may probably recognise. I went to drama school there. I went out into rep, and then I came to Canada in 1972. Odds and bits and bobs in TV and radio. Major theatres across the country, 27 seasons at the Stratford Festival here in Ontario. My first experience in theatre was the Sunday school nativity play. I was 8 years old and I was to play Joseph. My best buddy, who still is my best buddy, David, was playing King Herod, and a charming little, her name was Linda, another 8-year-old, was to play Mary. She brought in her favourite doll to play the baby Jesus, which was wrapped in swaddling clothes, and I believe her mother's eider down. And on our way up to the stage, she tripped on the stairs and dropped baby Jesus, the doll, baby Jesus, on his head. I rescued the situation somewhat by asking baby Jesus if he was all right, and then we carried on. When I was 11, as all kids of 11 at that time had to do, was to fail or pass the 11 plus exam. The 11 plus exam really determined where you were going to go for the rest of your life. If you passed the exam, which is what my brother did, he went to grammar school, had a chance to go to university and become a computer wizard that he is. If you failed, university was not an option, and probably you may get a job in a shoe shop or a baker's shop, or not that there's anything wrong in that, because I did work in a shoe shop. And maybe there was a chance of becoming an actor too. So I failed the 11 plus, and because I failed, because of where we lived in Enfield town, I was slated to go to a particular school, and my mum said, no, he's not going to that school, because I go there on my way to the shops and I can see what the kids do in the bushes there, and they're smoking and the language they use. Brian's not going to that school. And she went with my father and went to the City Council, Department of Education, and said, he's not going there. And they said, well, he has to go there because you live on that side of the street. And Mum said, no, he's not going there. And they won. So I was sent not to Bushel Park School, that terrible school, but to this new secondary modern school. It was a lovely school. With football clubs and badminton clubs, and a drama club too. We also did maths and history and geography at the same time, kind of stuff. We squeezed those in as well. But Bill Martin ran the drama club, and my first role with him in the drama club was playing the Angel Gabriel in Noah's Ark. I didn't know, and still didn't know, there's Angel Gabriel in Noah's Ark. And there I was playing the Angel Gabriel. Next year, he asked me to play Emil in Emil and the Detectives. So I was really getting the hang of this acting business. Now, the headmaster of the school was not keen on us doing these modern plays, which is what Bill Martin wanted to do. And I mean modern by Government Inspector, Billy Budd, Lord of the Flies, and adaptations of Alan Sillitoe's short stories. The headmaster wanted to just to do Shakespeare, and we weren't keen on doing Shakespeare, and Bill Martin didn't want to do Shakespeare and put 11, 12, 13 and 14-year-olds through that. And certainly not our audience, mums and dads, to sit through 3 hours of Shakespeare, probably played badly by a lot of little kids, you know. So we were doing these fabulous plays, and the Alan Sillitoe play that Bill adapted was The Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner. He asked me to play that, which I did. And in fact, I was 14, going on 15 at the time, and we took this production down to the Stratford East Theatre Royal in Stratford East, London, and played there for a few nights. It's kind of, I find it amusing that my career began in Stratford East, London, and sort of more or less ended, or recently ended, 3,500 miles west in Stratford, Ontario. However, we were doing these, and because of my interest in Alan Sillitoe and his interest also, of course, me playing Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner, when the movie opened in Leicester Square, Bill got me a ticket to attend the premiere, and I took the day off school, again, much to the headmaster's chagrin, to go down and watch the movie. Tom Courtney, who played Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner, was there, and there was a line up for autographs, but I was too intimidated to go and ask for his autograph. Bill would come round to my house, and he'd stay for tea. Mum would cook, make some sandwiches and put on the kettle, and we'd sit in the front room, and he'd coach me in Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner. And one evening, he brought along a copy of William Shakespeare's complete works. And he said, "Brian, I know what you're going to say, and you may be a bit hesitant about this, but just open the book, open it at random, and read some Shakespeare." And I said, he said, "Just open it, you know." And so I did open the book, and it fell upon Coriolanus, "You common cry of curs whose breath I hate." And he said, "Read it. You won't understand it. You'll trip over some words, but just maybe you would just get a feel of the language." So I did, and it was terrible. He said, "No, that's fine. Try it again. Try it again." So I tried it again, and after 3 or 4 times, I was beginning to get the hang of it, and my voice was getting better, and I was getting louder. And by the 6th time, I was really flying with this. And Mum put her head around the door and said, "Are you all right?" Because all she could hear was me screaming. And it was that point, Bill said to my mother, "I think Brian should become an actor." My mother and father knew nothing about theatre, nothing about acting. My mother knew I had some sort of artistic bent, and it was she who suggested that perhaps I get into window dressing. But Bill said no. I think, and he put them at ease, because they were a little worried what would happen, I guess, for my own. Well, they were worried I'd become a pauper and be on the streets, or, you know, become, I don't know what they're quite worried about, but Bill put them at ease, and he said to me, "Brian, I'm going to set you up with an audition for RADA. You won't get in, but that's okay. The experience will do you good." So I went to RADA and I auditioned with Launce and His Dog, and something by Philip Halpern called The Man Who Almost Knew Eamon Andrews, which is about a man dying of cancer whose girlfriend's party piece was her ability to put a whole fist in her mouth and sing "God Save the Queen." Well, Bill was right. I didn't get into RADA. But he said, "I'm going to send you to this school. You won't get in there either. I'll send you to that school. You won't get in there either." Nor did I. But he said, "I'm going to send you to East 15 Acting School, because I think that's where you belong." He sent me there. I did the audition, and after the audition, Maggie Berry, who ran the school, sat me down and said, "I think you have potential, but you're only 17 years old, and we like to have people with a bit more of life's experience. What I'm going to suggest to you, Brian, is that you go to Japan for 6 months to get some worldly experience. And I said, yes, of course. It was in the cards, and maybe I should go, but of course I never did, not at 17. And 2 months later, I got the letter saying I was accepted into the school. It was then I went out into the big world, still kept in contact with Bill, who was checking on me. How are you doing, Brian? How are you doing? Bill gave me a chance. Well, he made me realize that there was a place for me in theatre. I'd seen a lot of theatre, but a lot of it was la-di-da, it was out of my reach. But Bill made me see that there was perhaps a place for me in theatre. I got a chance to meet with Bill many years later. We met in a pub in Harrogate in Yorkshire. And I got a chance to thanking him for his confidence in me, thanking him for allowing me to see that there was a place for me in theatre, that I could do that. And I got a chance to thank him for setting me on this course of acting, in which, as I said before, I've met some wonderful people, done some pretty good work here and there too, had a career. And it's to Bill Martin, that mentor, that I thank. Bill died a few years ago. I was saddened by that, but at least I got a chance to thank him. So, wherever you are, Bill, I thank you from the bottom of my heart.